All right, let's get right into it. I'm joined by the chairman of the National Lands Commission, Bwana Mohamed Swazuri. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes, let's get right into it, Mr. Swazuri. You've closed the registry for 10 days. Was it more to clean it up? What does this mean?
Well, we have not closed the registry ourselves as a commission. It is the cabinet secretaries and the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development which closed the registry.
What's the authority to do that?
It's questionable, but it depends on which side of the law you are looking at. And that is where the problem starts. I think the issue has to do with two issues, or two things. One, we think it is the interpretation of the law. As a commission, the way we read the law, the policy, the constitution, the Land Act, the Land Registration Act, and the National Land Commission Act, all those ones read together, to us, we believe that we interpret it that all these things are supposed to be done by the National Land Commission. That is our understanding. But other people think otherwise, and that is why some of these things are happening. Where, in our understanding, all those activities, the land sector activities, are supposed to be undertaken by the National Land Commission, of course, with some functions being done by the ministry, especially the policy side of the functions, as outlined in Section 6 of the Land Act. That is where the functions are properly outlined for the ministry. For us, there's a commission, they outlined in all those documents, scattered all over, and there are many of them. That is what we think is a first issue, is the interpretation of the law. And that is why we have gone to the Supreme Court for us to get the proper interpretation, whether what we are saying is what it should be, and if there is any other interpretation, they will tell us.
Mm-hmm. And before we go to the next issue, Chairman, first ask a straight question, because it appears that the Cabinet Secretary, Charity Ngilu, is saying one thing, and is especially saying that your commission and yourself are blocking changes in the RD House. You're the ones who are the stumbling block, in effect, on the changes that the ministry wants to make.
That one is not true. And as I'm saying, there are many things that are being said. But you know, reforms are very, very painful things to undertake. Reforms require us to change from the past. And old habits, you know, die hard. So the Commission has never resisted any change. In fact, we are the agents of change. That's why we are put in place. We have supported and initiated all the moves to ensure that the land sector moves forward in as smooth manner as possible. And the challenges that are there, we have tried to surmount them. But it is not true to say that the Commission is the stumbling block. Where there is no there's no consultation, proper consultation, or where there is no proper participation of all the parties, that's when you say that we are a stumbling block. But you see, even if a move is intended to be in the correct way, with the good intentions, this is something that must be explained, and we do it together. So I think that is where I'm saying that the interpretation. If you are to look at what the law says about the functions of the ministry and what the law says about our functions, and I don't want to go into the details of that, you'll find that actually all these are supposed to be under the Commission. So when we say that this is a mandate that should be done by so-and-so, this is the mandate should be done by so-and-so, that's where we are told we are blocking reforms.
So was it blocking reforms, in your mind, in your interpretation?
Well, I can't outrightly say that, but in a way it is affecting the implementation of reforms. Because you see, reforms are not an event that occurs in one day. Even the process of dealing with land is not a one-day event. It's a process, and there are processes which are ongoing. Now, when we came in, we started now looking at every stage in the process of either allocation or settlement, and ensuring that we remove any cobwebs which are there. So this, I think the difference is that things want to be done very, very fast. And as we think, we need to do them in a procedural manner. As I was telling you, if you stock check in a spare parts shop and you close the business for the day, people have a chance to go and look for spare parts in another shop or other shops. But if you do this to the land sector, that's the only shop that is available for all these, and therefore that is a good initiative to reform. But then look at the way it is done and the effects it has.
Mm-hmm. Chairman, this has been going on for far too long. We've talked about this every day. We see it in the newspaper every single day. Something new comes up. Is there political will from the top to effect changes in the lands ministry?
Well, again, as you say, we have said this time and again. We believe there is a political will.
Why is it?
Because then how do you measure it? Because the President and His Excellency mentioned even during his inauguration that the work of the Commission we supported, and he has said it several times. But that is what we are taking.
We've seen that. We've seen that. But so this has gone on for far too long. Has the President or anyone else said, well, bring you and the minister and say, well, what is the issue? Can we discuss this and leave this room with an agreement, with a solution? Has that happened?
Yes, we have had meetings with Parliament, meetings in Senate. We have had meetings in Office of the President 3 times.
It hasn't helped the matter.
And even last week we were in Parliament again. It has not helped much because, again, I come back to the same issue that when we leave the meeting, the interpretation is different. And I must say that the matter is narrowing down to especially registration of titles to land. There are those who argue that the Commission is in charge of registration of titles, whether it's private or community, or community land, or even public land. Because the law says that we are supposed to manage and administer and registered trust land and community land. People don't understand that. Many people don't understand that when they say administer and manage, it includes even allocation and registration. Okay. They want to see that word register, and it is also even written there. Therefore, we, when it comes to registration, other people think that the ministry should also have a share of that. Although nowhere in those 5 documents I've mentioned is there a sentence which says the Ministry of Land shall register title. It's not there. I think what people are using is practice. When the NLC was put in place in February last year, 2013, it found serving officers already in the ministry. We found the registrar was there, the former land secretary was there, the former commissioner of lands was already there, surveyors were there, planners, everybody was there. So, and these people, before we came in, they were all under one regime, okay? Mm-hmm. Because the power was vested in the presidency, the power to allocate land. Presidency through delegation to the Commissioner of Lands, under whose docket all those people were. Because it's a process, as I tell you, it's a process. Yes. It starts from there, it goes to there, it goes, yeah, all of them. So that this person could easily tell you where your document is, what process is, because he is in charge of all those factors. Now, when we came in there, people were supposed to move. The functions which had moved from the Commissioner of Lands to the NLC were supposed to move with their staff to that place, of course seconded, yes, and then eventually would employ our own. but some of those never moved. And therefore, now what is surprising is that when they were all under the Commission of Lands, all of them were under. Now they have been moved to a NLC. Now it is shared. See, this is where
so
we
some of them.
Yeah, some of them are now have remained in the ministry, and some of them are with us. So now you see, now the process becomes I have to get it from here, take it to the other side, bring it back here, and so on. So I think this is just because we found those people already in the ministry. And for the sake of saving scarce resources as economists, we would have created parallel offices like those we have there. But we thought this is a waste of resources. Why can't we use the same officers? Because we know, we assumed rather, that everybody would simply move to the other side, especially those functions which are categorically given us for the NLC. The other functions, of course, are devolved functions like planning and so on. Yeah.
All right. Chairman, I'd like to take a short break. When I come back, I'll have a few specific questions for you and the solutions for this. We do take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to the chairman a bit more for 5 or 10 more minutes. But first, let's get to the news.